education and training. It's almost time for first grade Herald WPL Grand Final, so let's have a look at today's teams, starting with Warner's Bay. Number 1, Madison Merewether. Number 2, Ellie Davis. Number 3, Holly Aiton. Number 4, Talia Campbell. Number 5, Maggie Squires. Number 6, Cassidy Davis. Number 7, Jenny Kingsley. Number 10, Gabby Deacon. Number 11, Sophie Stapleton. Number 13, Corinne Cooper. Number 15, Sharon Keating. And starting on the bench for Warren's Bay today, number 9, Gemma Lawson. Number 22, Ellie Brown. Number 28, Caitlin Lidlock. Number 31, Ellie Borgia. And number 8, Tara Hinder. Starting for Merewether United today, number 10, Laura Kuczynski. Number 6, Valerie Dawson. Number 11, Jamie Ellis. Number 2, Sarah Hartree. Number 7, Nicole Jones. Number 8, Patricia Quinlan. Number 13, Ellie Withers. Number 14, Tamara Nash. Number 5, Leah Guthrie. Number 16, Olivia Tannock. Number 1, Alison Lowe. On the bench for Merewether United today, number 4, Rebecca Stewart. Number 12, Imogen Tusek. Number 15, Haley Griffin. Number 17, Katie Delaney. And number 18, Shannon Busy.
So here we are yet again, Warners Bay up against Merewether on the biggest day of the season. It's definitely not 2017, and for the second year in a row, these WPL heavyweights are back at it again for another title-fighting stoush. For the last 3 seasons, it's been either Warners Bay or Merewether who have lifted the championship trophy. And while this season's semi-final series may have been the closest in recent memory, championship-winning sides simply know how to get the job done, and that's where Merewether and Warners Bay have got here. Last year it was Warners Bay who rushed out to a 3-1 lead, but it was Merewether who won that afternoon 4-3. If we get half the drama we got last year, we're in for a stupendous showdown. It's Warners Bay versus Merewether, the rematch at Western. Warners Bay in the purple kit, Merewether in the white and red. And Warners Bay, they make just the one change from the side who lost 1-0 to South Wallsend in the second leg of the semi-finals last weekend at John Street Oval. Sian Keating comes into the side for Tara Pender, who drops back to the bench. She's got a knee injury, but she could play some part off the bench. They've also got Holly Ayton, who comes to Warners Bay this year after being in Tasmania in the past, and they've got Cass Davis and Jenna Kingsley, very experienced W League players with the Newcastle Jets. And for Merewether United, Cass Cobbin, she makes just the one change from the team who drew 1-1 with New Lambton last Saturday afternoon. That one change is Olivia Tannock, who comes into the side for Shani Vasey. In their side, they've got former W League experience as well. Nicole Jones, Alison Logan goals as well, and Riley Dobson, who won the championship in the W League with Melbourne City last season. The coach is Cass Davis. She's the captain coach of Warners Bay, and she's played a part in the last 3 grand finals coming into this afternoon's match, so it'll be 4 straight for her this year. But she's just won 1 grand final. That was back 2 years ago against Wallsend. And for Cass Coppin, the Merewether mentor, former Jets W League player, forced to retire due to knee injuries, and immediately in her coaching career she's had success, leading Merewether to grand final success in 2015 and 2017, and she's never lost a grand final as coach. Referee for this afternoon's match is Alison McCready. She refereed the match last year, that hugely entertaining 4-3 victory to Merewether, and she refereed the match between South Wallsend and Warners Bay last weekend, where South Wallsend got the cookies but couldn't quite win the war overall. It was Warners Bay who went through on away goals. The weather up here at Western, 16 degrees currently. The wind is very light as it stands just 8 kilometres an hour from the east, so coming directly across the ground. So it'll be Warners Bay from right to left of screen in the opening 45 minutes. The Premiers looking to do the double for just the second time in WPL history. And we are underway, the 2018 grand final up here at Rockwell Automation Park. And with me in commentary is Cass Wright and Helen O'Neill. And Cass, I'll go to you first. Can Warners Bay get revenge for their grand final defeat last time out?
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game today, Ben. I think Merewether are out there to continue their win from last year. And Warners Bay will definitely got a point to prove, coming back off the semis and their loss in the last week's game.
So here's Stapleford. Sends Cass Davis on her run down the line. And Laurie Depczynski doing a great job at the back for Merewether. Withers almost plays it straight into the path of Jenna Kingsley. Almost made Merewether pay an early chance there. So it'll be a goal kick for Alison Logue. A near thing there for Merewether United. Ellie Withers playing it straight into the path of Jenna Kingsley. Helen, just briefly, I'll bring you in. What are your thoughts on this grand final? Warners Bay having the best of the opening part of it.
Yeah, but I think, Ben, though, having a look at the form over the previous weeks, I think it's certainly been Merewether is the side that's been building. But again,
and now Cass Davis, she's in on goal already, and Alison Logue with a brilliant save. Falls back and Logue dives on the ball. That strike from Gabby Deakin. It's all Warners Bay early on.
Yeah, but they've been pretty much like that over the last couple of weeks, and then they tend to die away. But for Jenna Kingsley from the Warners Bay side, her under-20 side was just successful in the winning their grand final, so she'll be pretty pumped and obviously wanting to make it back-to-back, as would Riley Dobson like to win 2 premierships in the 1 year.
It's Letitia Quinlan across to that woman you were just talking about, Helen Riley Dobson. Here's the strike from distance from Gouffre, I should say, and just wide of goal from Leah, who's in her first year at Merewether.
There's a good crowd in today, Ben. A lot of people obviously made the trip up the freeway from Newcastle to support their sides.
Yeah, very good crowd here at Rockwell Automation Park, as it was 2 years ago when it was Warners Bay who won the grand final against Wallsend. Jenna Kingsley, the leading scorer in the competition, goes to ground, and Alison McCready will wave the appeals away for a free kick. Holly Ayton gives away possession, and Nicole Jones, she's off down the touchline. Now Merewether with a decent opportunity. Holds it along the ground, and Madison Latter, the 16-year-old goalkeeper for Merewether, does the job in goals.
Actually, it's good to see Nicole Jones out there. I remember how fast.
Well, here's Jenna Kingsley away. All of a sudden, Helen, she threads the pass through to Deakin, took a little deflection. Very open start to this match. Can you explain why, Cass?
Yeah, so if we have a look at Merewether's formation, they're playing 3 at the back, 2 in front of those, and that's leaving them a little bit open for Warners Bay to come through. So as you can see, they've just changed their formation back to 4, because they obviously Laurie was playing an attacking, now she's come back into that defensive role.
And here come Warners Bay again. This time via Taria Campbell, who threads the ball through, and Stapleford was after it, but Alison Logue, I feel she's going to be a key in goals for Merewether this afternoon. 6 clean sheets in the season proper. 22 matches in the W League for the Newcastle Jets in years gone by, 2008 to 2012. Lasser launches one up the park. Now Cass Davis up and over the top for Stapleford. Stapleford along the tarmac, and well defended in the end from the Merewether skipper, Laurie Depczynski. But it's Warners Bay with the best of the opening exchanges. There is so much space out there. This is one of the biggest grounds in northern New South Wales, so you sense there'll be a lot of open pastures for both sides to use in this one. 2 sides who love to attack.
I think we've seen that, but there's plenty of gaps out there, Cass, isn't there, really, when you, as Ben said, it is such a huge ground that it seems to be all coming up the middle. If you can get some quick passes out.
There's Squires, what's gone in? Inside the near post, the corner from Nadia Squires. She's super from the set pieces, and there's a prime example of that. And Nadia Squires opens the scoring in this grand final. You sense it's the first goal of many this afternoon. Well, I talked her up, Alison Logue, and she's done that. Commentator's curse.
Yes, it definitely was, Ben. It was. She did have sight of it, but unfortunately she didn't get there with the hands, and it slipped on through, it looks like.
Playing in her 4th straight grand final, Nadia Squires, this afternoon. 3 with Warners Bay, 1 with Valentine. Withers back to Depczynski. So how did Merewether deal with that? What do you say if you're a coach on the sideline, if you concede a goal like that? Really a mistake.
You've just got to regroup and settle the play down, make sure that they're playing their game, ball to feet, and create those opportunities that Helen was talking about, getting wide rather than central. We'll see the ball go back up the centre again, so creating those opportunities, especially for Riley out in the wing and Nikki Jones playing forward here.
Well, here is Nicole Jones being released down that right flank, and Latter was out there to make the grab. The American has played for 3 clubs in the US, and So there's some concern here for Krupa, who looks to be down. A ladder's just going to pilot that one over the touchline.
There's a fine line about racing out to an injured player, isn't there? I mean, we see them in rugby league, and sometimes the trainer's on the field, but sometimes in football, I think you need to get out there a bit quicker. Yeah, it's a bit of a pre-2018 rule, I think, that we're sticking to.
Yeah, so Krupa, who won that 2016 grand final, was one of the members of that side. There's 6 out there in the starting lineup for Warners Bay that won back here at Western 2 years ago. She's one of those. Previously been at the Emerging Jets. Let's just talk about that. 2 years ago, Warners Bay had grand final success up here at Western. How much influence does that have psychologically? You know, you've got good memories coming up here. You've had a great afternoon here before. I feel that can have a decent impact.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not a real big believer of the traditions on who wins and who loses. When you think about it, there's changes in personnel. The weather conditions, they weren't like certainly wasn't like this. You know, it's pretty much an equaling sort of condition out there. It's very calm. So Ben, put you down on that one.
Yeah, so for me, as a coach, previously, momentum's a good thing, and if you've been there before, you at least know what to expect. Both Merewether and Warners Bay have been in the last couple, so I think Helen's right. It's an even keel at the moment.
Well, I still feel like it has some kind of an influence. You know, any sports person will tell you that if they've played well at a certain ground, it seems to continue, and you have that positive psychology going into it. Not a massive influence, but I feel it does, as Krupa just taken off the park. We'll see if they're forced into a change here, Warners Bay. Wouldn't be great for them this early on in the match.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a quad or an ankle, but definitely...
she seems to be holding her chest too.
Maybe.
I mean, she did go down, and you saw the goalkeeper come out ladder, and certainly no malice in it.
Player down, so this could be interesting here if Merewether push on and look for that.
Yeah, Warners Bay down to 10 players for the moment. Here's a chance for Gabby Deacon to run into the open space. Now Jenna Kingsley, lovely 1-2 played between her and Deacon's ball across the face. She was looking for Cass Davis. Second highest goal scorer for Warners Bay this year, Cass Davis, with 15 goals. Jenna Kingsley, top of the pile. Not just at Warners Bay, but also competition-wide with 26. Tamara Nash threads it through for Riley Dobson. Very well blocked by Keating, who was that late inclusion for Tara Pender, who's on the bench. Could play some part in this one.
Merewether has so much speed on both wings that the more they open the game up, I can see them having a bit more success.
So Ellie Withers onto Ellis. Withers plays in skipper Depchinski, who actually came off the bench in last year's grand final. Laurie Depchinski was injured leading up to the match. Quinlan getting involved. Now into the back of Squires. Well, that was a bit awkward. Here's Gouffre now. Strike from distance from Quinlan straight at Latta. Withers decides safety first is to go back to Logue. Sarah Hartree. Neat turn away from Deacon. Now Dobson with the flick up the ground. Nadia Squires, the goal scorer for Warners Bay. And then Depchinski with a decisive pass, and Dobson should get there, but Keating is keeping toe with her. And Warners Bay win the throw, much to the displeasure of Dobson. So the match just settling down at the moment.
Dobson's going on with it. I think she might need to remember it's the not the W League, it's the WPL.
Yeah, Sian's actually quite quick out there. She's a young one that's got a bit of a speed, so she will keep Riley on her toes.
And you sense Cass Davis has made that decision, putting
Yeah.
Sian out there on Riley Dobson.
And it's a big call because Sian's just played in the 20s, so she's backing up for a second game already.
The skipper of that side, the under-20s, that won the grand final. So she'll go into this one with plenty of energy, you sense. And you would think she'd probably be subbed off in the second half based on the fact she's already played out there this afternoon on a pitch which is a little bit heavier than what it has been so far this season. And as we just look down to the touchline, and it will be a change. They've been forced into this change with Krupa leaving the park, and it will be Gemma Lawson.
And Gemma's the goal scorer from the 20s, the one recently, but again has played a full game, so it'll be interesting now how Merewether attack their back line.
And so the grand final hero from the under-20s and former Morisset striker. And here's an early touch for her. Straight onto the park and into the action. Gemma Lawson. Cass Davis. I was wondering whether she was trying her luck from distance. She wasn't. She was playing in Gabby Deacon. And Jenna Kingsley's unmarked there. Ellie Withers trying to get across, but it was easily dealt with in the end by Jamie Ellis, who just launches one up the ground towards Dobson.
Yeah, look, they're outnumbered, Merewether, when they do that. There's no central players, so she's gone 4v2, four Warners Bay players to the 2 Merewether. Unless it's ball to feet or actually a good ball, they're not going to win those ones.
Warners Bay really down on troops, isn't it? I mean, I think there's about 3 or so girls backing up from the
They've
20s.
got 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
And then Tara Pender on the bench with an injury.
Here's Stapleford. Under pressure from Nicole Jones.
Overruled then. The linesman call the other way. Overruled by the centre umpire, McCready.
So Withers under the head of Jones. Frey getting across there as well. Nicole Jones, former W League player with the Jets as well. 13 matches and a couple of goals in the top flight women's competition in Australia. Cass Davis with the first touch up and over the top, looking for Deacon. And at the moment it's Warners Bay who are looking better in that front third. And I'm not surprised about that. They've scored 64 goals. They scored 64 goals across 15 regular season matches. They know how to score. Riley Dobson gives away possession, and Merewether, surprisingly, have found it difficult when they've played against Warners Bay this year. And here's the ball to Gouffre, and there's the equaliser almost instantly. Leah Gouffre with the header. She scored against Warners Bay in round 13, and she's at it again in the grand final.
That was a beautiful ball into the box, right where she needed to be, and just a simple flick into the back of the net.
And judging by the reaction, the majority of the crowd's on Merewether's side, I'd say, here today.
So 6 goals for Leah Gouffre this year, including that one. Doesn't get much bigger than that.
No, we're back to even sticks.
Lovely header. It actually reminded me of the goal that Cass Davis scored back in the 2015 grand final when Hannah Brewer put it on a platter for her.
Are you going to bring back my memories for that one, Ben?
Here's Depchinski. I'm being as unbiased as I can, Cass. If it comes to my head, I've got to bring it up.
Yeah, actually, that was a really good goal.
It was a really good goal. You should take that as a compliment.
Actually, Brewer's been having a good season with the W League with Newcastle Jets.
She made it into the Matilda squad as well. Hannah Brewer, great season, and unfairly sent off in the semi-final. Very unfairly. Gee, the Jets got dudded in big matches this year in both the men's and women's competition. Anyway, we'll leave that. Nadia Squires is over the free kick, so she scored from the corner earlier in the match. She is the free kick specialist. I'd say the number 1 in the competition. As she dinks it towards Jenna Kingsley. Alison Logue strong in the air. Riley Dobson. Just 10 matches for Riley this year, 10 goals. She missed 7 weeks with an iris injury. Boyfriend flung a kid's toy into her eye. How unlucky is that?
That is unlucky. And now if we have shots out from here...
Well, here's the strike from Jamie Ellis and Latta. Just testing her out, really.
And Jamie will continue to do that. If she's got a bit of space anywhere in that area, she can score goals.
Ellie Withers has been nutmegged there as she went up. Davis. It was a little bit of a heavy touch from Ellis. That's a neat touch from Tamara Nash. Ellis. Now the goal scorer, Gouffre. So we've already got 2 goals in this opening part of the 2018 WPL Grand Final, sponsored by the Newcastle Herald. That one went closer to goal than I expected. Latta was up there, the youngster.
The wind's just picking up, so if she picks up one of those, it will actually, potentially, over the keeper's head. So that's one to be wary for Warners Bay.
I think the game's turned a little bit in Merewether's favour, actually. After they scored that goal, they seemed to be pretty buoyed by it, and Warners Bay looking a little bit frazzled in a couple of positions.
And I actually felt, Helen, that goal was against the run of play. Merewether were a little bit clunky in the front third, to be honest. Warners Bay looking a whole lot better, and then they grab one back. Deacon into the back of Sarah Hartree, and it probably will bobble over. No, it won't. Really sitting up there on the grass here at Rockwell Automation Park. Just a reminder, those previous grand finals today. Football Mid-North Coast winning the opening match 1-0 over Merewether. I'm just trying to remember, that was the 16s? 14s. And then the 18s was won by Thornton 2-0. Ball falls back here for Tamara Nash. They might be able to get themselves in front. The 18s Thornton 2-0 and the 20s Warners Bay 1-0 over Football Mid-North Coast. Cass Davis brought to ground by Dobson.
It's good to see they're close games this year, so improving with the top 4 teams.
And this, the first grand final of the afternoon where both sides have scored. Sometimes hard in a grand final when you go behind.
Yeah, it's getting that momentum to pick up and overturn the head space, I suppose. Sometimes that can play a factor.
Not so in the top grade, though. Merewether responding, but they know how to respond, don't they, after last year?
Yes,
being down 3-1.
Massive comeback.
But remember, Ben, that psychological advantage.
Exactly. I think
on this ground before.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a bit going both ways, Helen. Is Nash.
That last goal came when they went wide. You know, I'd like to see them open the game up a little bit more.
Well, you can see how compact it is, can't you?
Yeah. Under 7s, net over the top.
Getting across was Taria Campbell. She was out muscled to possession there, and Riley Dobson will need boosters in her boots to get to that one.
It's a little bit too far, but as Helen said, the momentum has changed here. They're getting more players up in the front third.
A bit more physical too, Merewether. I think their elbows are coming into play a little bit more than Warners Bay.
If you look across the park, they are a slightly taller side.
Yes.
In the one-on-one matchups. Nikki Jones getting across. Looking for Tannock in the middle. And Riley Dobson used her body really well to get away from Keating. Here it is, Riley Dobson! And she blasts it home. She rarely misses from there.
And there's that Merewether taking it wide, Helen on the right flank, bringing it back into the central area. And Riley uses both feet quite well, so I was waiting to hit it on the left, but she put it back on her right and straight in the back of the net.
11 goals in 11 matches for Riley this year. She is a sharpshooter. She'll be playing for Melbourne City again in the W League this year. Played in that grand final win over Sydney FC. And Merewether now in front. How do Warners Bay respond now?
Well, they're showing signs of tiredness out there. I mean, we saw that last play that the goal resulted from.
And we're only really 20, 25 in, so
yeah,
a long way to go.
They went out very early.
So Stapleford. And now Cass Davis. Can she conjure up something? She can conjure up a nutmeg, and then Stapleford straight at Logue. And Cass Davis will wish she had the last 10 seconds over again. She's missed from a range you wouldn't expect her to. It just bounced up nicely to her, and Merewether asleep at the wheel. How often do we see it? A side scores, then almost immediately leave the door ajar to concede. And they did. They left it wide open. But Warners Bay couldn't take advantage. So Ellie Davis. And Sian Keating there. Very good intervention from Sian, but she's turned it back over. And now Riley Dobson allowed to run again. And it was her first grand final goal, which has put Merewether ahead in this one. Because previously with Adamstown, Merewether as well in the past.
Merewether just winning those little battles that they need to win.
And now Nikki Jones almost.
And it's playing to their advantage at the moment. So Warners Bay need to win those one-on-one challenges, definitely in their back third, to make sure that Merewether don't capitalise again.
Yeah, there seems to be a bit more urgency from Warners, from Merewether. They're getting to the ball first on most plays.
Cass is being a bit vocal there on the sidelines. She's normally quite contained, but she's trying to get the girls, I think, in a different step up.
And here is Stableford again, finding some free space in front of Ellie Withers, across the face. And gee, they've had some great chances, Warners Bay. Deacon, the latest to spurn one.
They could probably have 5 or 6 in, I would suggest.
Yeah, Sophie's creating some space down that left-hand side. She's got a strong left foot on her. Call out to all those that couldn't make it today that are watching on the live feed. We've got people from South Africa, Sydney, and all the likes of. So shout out to our famous footballers that are supporting women's football in Newcastle.
Well, Merewether a chance to go ahead by 2. Well smothered by Madison Latta. So just over 25 minutes gone in the 2018 grand final, a repeat of last year's, where Merewether won 4-3 already. A multitude of goals in this year's grand final. Really is swinging around the momentum in this one. Probably fair enough to be level, this one. Merewether ahead 2-1. That's basically, they've taken the chances they've been given, and Warners Bay haven't. Cass Davis will try and turn that around here. Played in every match in the W League last year for the Jets, did Cass Davis. Stapleford. She has Davis in the middle. She opts for Jenna Kingsley.
Merewether have just come back in numbers now, so we're interesting to see if Warners Bay can.
It was a neat turn there from Davis. Appeals for handball and have gone against Warners Bay.
They're using a lot of energy too at Warners Bay, you know, just getting up there and then not really doing a whole lot with it.
And they've got the change of formation, so Tori Campbell comes into the midfield where normally she plays central defence, and that's when Keating has slopped in there with Aiton in the 2 central areas.
And you sense Terrera will drop back into that centre back role when Tara Pender comes on, and Pender will slot in there into the midfield. You'd anticipate, would that be?
Yeah, well, it depends whether she's 100% fit or how her injury.
You'd think if she's on the bench that she would be fit enough to be able to get out some minutes, Tara Pender. We'll see. We'll wait and see. Here's Laura Jepczynski out of the back line. Now up to Dobson. She sees the run of Tannock inside and uses her. But Sian Keating, gee whiz, she's quick, isn't she? Yeah. Straight across. Dobson with the long throw. Good fray with a bit of work to do, and now Jamie Ellis.
Looks like Jamie and Laurie are swapping in and out of that 6 and 4 role.
So Dobson.
I think that's what they're doing. Their positions are just all over the place. I mean, obviously deliberate moves, but it's catching Warners Bay. They're not sure who they're meant to be defending.
Yep, and they've swapped again.
Yeah.
So Ellis, she really hit that one. Controlled by Jones at the top of the box, but it allows Warners Bay now to break free. Stapleford onto Jenna Kingsley. We know of her pace, Jenna. She hits that one a little too heavy. Jenna Kingsley's actually...
It was interesting how they ran that, because it was 3v3, then it became 1v4 in the box, because Warners Bay, as Helen was saying, they've, I think, unsure where they need to be in that front third.
Yeah, just on Jenna Kingsley, this is her third straight grand final. She's got a terrible record in grand finals. She's lost 2, and this is, of course, her third. So we wish her luck out there this afternoon. She's been playing in the WPL for 3 years now. Grand final every year, but yet to taste success. Stapleford now in towards Kingsley, who did score a hat-trick last year in the grand final. We should remember, Jenna. Just the one goal.
Hat-tricks last year in the grand final, did we not?
We did. Sarah Halverson scored 3 for Merewether. She's now playing rugby sevens, or bit of rugby union.
Yeah. And she joins us in the crowd today.
She's she's a great athlete. Here's Jones. Was the corner flag through the boot of Sian Keating.
She actually won the AFL Grand Final too last year.
And now Dobson, well blocked by Squires.
Well-rounded athlete.
Now Quinlan trying to play it through the lines. She, sorry Cass, I'm going to preface it by saying sorry to you, but Letitia Quinlan, she won the 2015 Grand Final with her left boot.
Yes,
she slotted it home. Win it 3-2 with 5 minutes to go.
That 5 minutes. 5 minutes at the start of the game, 5 minutes to finish the game. Always an opportunity to win or lose the game.
So Jones, the touch infield. And then Keating straight up the middle.
That's where Warners Bay are playing the game, right up the middle. They get a slight variation, then they go back to it. It's not really working for them.
Well, the match has really settled down in the last 10 minutes or so. Limited chances on offer as Holly Ayton has just barreled over number 14 for Merewether, who is Tamara Nash. It's actually the sister of Matt Nash, the former A-League goalkeeper. Tamara, former Sydney FC Mariner Jets keeper.
Has that football in her blood?
She has that family. And here is Warners Bay's chance. Falls for Stapleford. First touch took her away from goal. But the chance has not gone just yet. Taria Campbell, circumspect. Stapleford and now Kingsley. Well, they're lining up at the back post. And they still can't put it away. Warners Bay. Just incredible. These missed opportunities.
Miss those goals, would she? Like, that's a rarity to see Jenna Kingsley miss them. Not 1, but 2.
She hasn't scored in her last 2 matches. Now, it's not that big a goal-scoring drought for Kingsley, but that's actually her biggest of the year. So it just shows you how good she is, how prolific she's been, never having gone more than 2 matches without scoring. Here's Nikki Jones. Can she double? Merewether's advantage. Well, it was great work at the back from Lawson to get into position to block the shot, and then Latta at the near post somehow keeps it out. It wasn't convincing, but it did the job.
She was where she needed to be.
Exactly. That's all you can ask of a goalkeeper. Doesn't matter how you save it. So Davis, well, she's had an air swing there, Cass Davis. And Jones is bearing down on goal again. And here's Warners Bay's opportunity. Kingsley to Davis and then Stapleford. Good movement. Surely there was a handball there from Gabby Deakin.
Calling it.
Deakin into the middle. Kingsley falls back for Cass Davis, who rolls it. And Logue is able to dive on it.
And they had an opportunity there. Warners Bay, Merewether down on numbers, but Merewether actually got a few players back and created that just enough for Warners Bay not to capitalise.
And to be honest, I don't know if swinging balls into the box is Warners Bay's best method here, because you look at who Merewether have got at the back, the tall timber of Depchinski and Withers, as they come on the attack down the other end of the ground. Holly Ayton leaves it over the sideline, but I just feel that that method is not going to be very fruitful for them, because you've got Jenna Kingsley, who is short in stature, up against very tall centre-backs from Merewether. Is crossing from the flanks the option.
And then you've got to beat the goalkeeper.
Exactly.
Who's
The premier goalkeeper in the comp.
Yeah, that's right.
What is the premier defence in the competition? Merewether conceded just 17 goals in 15 regular season matches. And if you look at all of their matches, just 18 goals in 17 matches. So almost less than a goal a game conceding. And now Depchinski stepped away from Kingsley. And now Squires scored the goal to open Warners Bay's account this afternoon. Couldn't find the killer ball to Jenna Kingsley on that occasion. Dobson got away from Keating. She's very quick, Riley Dobson. Threaded the ball to Nash, who just let it run past her. But Nikki Jones was waiting at the back post. And probably of all the things that Nash wanted to happen there from that cross, hitting the crossbar, was probably the worst option of the lot, because Jones was just waiting at the back post and Latta was in no man's land at the near post.
Look, Warners Bay is certainly showing signs of fatigue out there. Their body language has dropped dramatically to what it was when the game first started.
So Nash across the face. Falls back for Gouffre.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Helen. You can certainly see there's hands on hips and they're not getting into their positions quickly to make that defence.
Well, I think their gut, their gut wrenched almost, because they've had so many opportunities and they're just not converting any of them.
Helen, do you need to go give them a pep talk at half time?
I'm up for it.
It's Kingsley. Brings it down, has the run of Deacon, and also Stapleford there as well, but Alison Logue, gee, she's strong in goals. She's trying to make up for that earlier mistake. Ellis on to Gouffre, into the back of her opposite number, Nadia Squires. Ellie Davis. Now Deacon. Here's Squires. Cass Davis almost dispossessed Quinlan.
Yeah, I think Warners Bay need to get their midfielders up forward quickly to support their three front runners, for them to make sure that they've got every opportunity to score goals. But as you said, I think ball to feet in that box is really integral for the likes of Kingsley and Davis.
Sort of going through the air, yeah. And you can see that gap appearing between the back four and the midfield there for Warners Bay.
I think they're fatigued. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no doubt, yeah. Just
like
struggling.
You said, Ben, it's one of the largest fields, and that can play a difference. You're used to playing on the smaller fields, tighter ball control, shorter passes, and now we're in an environment where we're actually...
Well, you think of Myambler Oval and John Street Oval, the home grounds for both of these sides are a lot smaller than Bear Park here at Western. So there's a foot race now between Campbell and Jones. Nicole Jones just tracking back and watching Campbell. And Campbell couldn't send Lawson on her way down the flank.
It's not as if it's hot conditions out there either.
It's actually great conditions for football today.
Yeah, it is indeed, which is why I'm quite surprised that the fatigue factor set in so soon.
Keating.
And if we have a look at those numbers centrally there, where I was talking about in the midfield, there was no opportunity for Warners Bay to hit defeat centrally. There's only Cass Davis sitting there. Victoria and Nadia are sitting quite defensively in midfield roles.
So Nicole Jones again. It's been wonderful down that right hand side in this first half. Ellis curls it, and Dobson was within inches of scoring a double.
Remember, Cass, how fast Nikki Jones used to be? I mean, she still shows plenty of pace now, but gee, a couple of years ago, whoa, I thought she was probably one of the quickest players in the A-League.
Definitely had quick feet.
The W League? W League?
Oh, no, I've seen a couple of women in the A-League.
Just trotting across to the far side of the ground to take this one.
Yeah, no one's in a hurry, are they? No one's in a hurry out there today.
She's got a fascinating story, Nicole Jones. I might tell it after we see this corner whipped in from last year. She gets up and under that one. Holly Ayton used her chest well and came off Nash. And this is where Warners Bay are at their most dangerous on the counter-attack. And they've got a 3-on-1. Stapleford has to whip this one inboard.
They've got a great opportunity here, Warners Bay.
Still Stapleford. She's got Squires, who has got no one on her at the back post. Kingsley takes it on herself and can't roll it in the corner. And Nadia Squires, the Warners Bay skipper, walks away disappointed.
That was a really good opportunity for Warners Bay. Put a ball in back of the net, then they overloaded players, and unfortunately just didn't quite make it.
Another chance bites the dust for Warners Bay. We had another Prime Minister bite the dust midweek, and tell you what, Warners Bay have had that many chances. Farley Dobson. Ayton. Safety first over the sideline. Yeah, Nikki Jones. So last year they were up at Taree playing against Football Mid-North Coast, and she lost her engagement rings. This is before they get back on the bus. She didn't realise till they were a little way into their trip, so they turned around, drove back to Taree, and somehow they found the engagement ring in the car park, in the dark. I don't know how they did that.
Must have been a big diamond. Maybe a shine. It would have been like a headlight coming out of the ground.
It must have.
Is he marrying a rich man?
That's definitely a good win there.
Yeah. Is Deacon to well around Withers, and Kingsley's offside. I don't know how she's found herself offside there.
No, there's a couple of players in front. Jeez.
It's either very tight, or I'm wondering how that all occurred.
Well, she's getting the look anyway.
She does get caught offside a bit, which is common for a player like her. Very fast striker, always trying just to get that extra metre. So last year in the grand final, it was Warners Bay who led 2-1 at half-time. So we're getting out the
bring out the
X-File, the X-Files theme. 2-1 Merewether this year at half-time. Could it be a different result in the second half? Here's Terea Campbell. Not long to go before the interval now. There's Gabby Deacon, loses the footing, and now Davis gets around them. Great control from Depchinski just to bring it down and totally release the pressure valve, which was just building there on Merewether. And here's Tamara Nash. She'll do well to keep ahead of Keating. Just look at her mow Nash down.
She needed support though. She was only the one up front. Now Merewether decided to support her and push players forward.
Jones just dinked it over the top looking for the run of Olivia Tannock. The Herald Women's Premier League Grand Final of 2018. You're watching it live on Bar TV Sports. And now Cass Davis. She looked up. She was going to shoot. Instead, she opted to run. And here's the free kick for Warners Bay. And this is the chance for Nadia Squires. Close range. She's very good from the set piece. She's scored once from the dead ball thus far. She may yet grab another one.
Lots of questions being asked to the referee on that one.
Jane wasn't happy with that call.
I think sometimes everybody has an opinion on them, Cass, but really it's the referee's on the spot.
Yep, she was actually right there.
And haven't we got a VAR at Western? What's going on? Isn't this a big budget ground?
Actually, we do have a bumper crowd today. I think most of the grandstands are full.
Yeah, great crowd in. Less than 5 minutes before the interval, and it's not Nadia Squires, it's Jenna Kingsley.
Oh, not sure. It was General Cass.
Well, Cass Davis, look at the run-up.
Yeah. And they're still going to flick it out to Squires, positioned out here on the left.
Well, yeah, Nadia Squires has got no one around her. Helen, that's exactly what they do. And Nadia Squires couldn't finish. Well, you read that one like it was in last week's newspaper.
Oh, mate, I'm ahead of last week's newspaper. Don't you worry, Ben.
That was the obvious
yeah, it was, wasn't it?
play for that.
I'm surprised Merewether did not see it at all.
Yeah.
Obviously, they backed themselves.
Focused on the wall rather than the players.
Yeah, exactly.
It's interesting, isn't it? Maybe fatigue out there.
So Jones.
But definitely missed opportunity.
And now Ellis. Will Merewether make them pay immediately? Oh, that's awkward. That's really awkward. And Riley Dobson toe pokes it in. That's so unfortunate for Warners Bay. And it's 3-1 to Merewether right before the break. A crucial time to score.
End to end. So we've had a missed opportunity, Warners Bay, and we're within 30 seconds. We're down the other end with the Riley round the keeper. Toe tap.
Came really off a missed read of the free kick up there, and then wham bam, straight up the middle.
So we're actually one goal ahead at half time from last year's grand final, Ben. So massive psychological edge for Merewether.
Huge. But remember, Merewether, they were down 3-1 in last year's grand final. Cass Davis is furious, and I tell you what, I agree with her here.
Yeah, I do.
Merewether are very slow. Play should be going on here because Merewether are all back in position. Fair enough. If Merewether aren't going to get back into position quickly, Warners Bay should be allowed to kick off.
And Merewether have actually changed their fullbacks. So we're looking at Turbo, as she's well known, is come out to the right-hand side to pick up Stapleton.
Good grab from very well spotted there, Cassie. You can see that. Sarah Hartree just moving over from that far side.
I think Merewether's just playing for time now.
I'll be honest, Warners Bay have had much more of the opportunity, and Merewether have probably only had about 3 or 4 chances, and they've scored 3 of them. And that's what it comes down to, big games.
Capitalise on opportunities, and in a grand final you have to.
We might have to employ the mercy rule.
I don't think we need the mercy rule yet, do we? 3-1.
Well, no, last year's we were...
same thing, similar thing.
Quite confident that it was going one way to Warners Bay, and it completely flipped with Halverson and those goals turning it around. So it'll be interesting to see how Warners Bay respond here.
Well, they are responding through Stapleford, who plays in Gabby Deacon, one of the players with one of those chances. But again, and this is what we're saying, Cass, they've really got to play to feet, don't they? Because that's just looped in.
Pattern. Get it up there, cross it in the air.
Yeah.
It's not working.
Just quickly, biggest grand final scoreline, Adamstown Rosebud 6, Lake Macquarie 1 in 2012.
Oh, was that? And Lake Macquarie had no right to lose that. That was the day of Kate, what's her name, and Hayley, and man, they were a formidable outfit.
Yeah, Kate Hensman.
Hayley Crawford, yeah.
And that's actually where Cassidy started her WPL career, if I'm correct, with the Lakes.
There was no way they should have lost that game, was there?
They went down 6-1. And here's Stapleford now. So it's a 3-on-2 this time for Warners Bay. Merewether are happy to push players forward, and they don't mind when they've got a centre back like Laurie Depczynski.
That was well defended.
Very well defended.
Just had to get the body in front of the ball, and Sophie just couldn't get there.
You'll have to work out a plan how to break down this Merewether defence next year, Cass. South Walls End.
Yes, bring it on. Back into the coaching ranks next year. I've handed my coat back to Northern New South Wales as technical advisor, so I'm hoping someone will step up that can help the 14s and 17s. So my role will be with the South Wales End Wolves and building a great competition and players definitely for next year.
Do you think we'll have a couple more sides though in the WPL, which I think not just quality, but we certainly need quantity?
Yeah, I think, Helen, we're at our maximum capacity at the moment. There's not enough quality players that want to play in the WPL. We need to lift the standard, we need to lift the professionalism, we need to have qualified coaches coaching the girls so they understand what play we need to do, what the curriculum states, good football and consistent football. So I think there needs to be some changes. We're looking at that. But yeah, definitely I think we're at the maximum.
Yeah, well, I think I agree with that one. You don't want to spread the talent as we head towards half-time. So it's Merewether who will head to the sheds this year, ahead 3-1. Last year they were down 2-1. This year 3-1 up. They conceded the first goal. Nadia Squires got Warners Bay off to the dream start, but it was Merewether who responded through Leah Gouffre, and then Riley Dobson grabbed a grand final double. She has a chance to score a hat-trick and become the third player in the last two grand finals to score a hat-trick.
So Helen, if you're heading down to the change rooms, what are you going to say to the Warners Bay team?
Well, I mean, really, when we talk about the number of players backing up, it's no wonder fatigue is a little setting in. But what they're also not doing, they have a great leader in Cass Davis who has missed a couple of opportunities, or when she's seen play just stagnate, she takes it by the horn and goes for it. She has to lift her players and say, it's a 90-minute game, we've got to play for that. If they get a goal, we've got to get one back. I think Merewether has a psychological edge because they're hanging in and they're more determined. They want it more. It's as simple as that.
And we saw that last year, Ben, the grand final coming back.
We did. We saw that exactly, the brilliant comeback from Merewether. We will take a quick break for 10 minutes, but we will be sticking around for the presentation post-match. And I think that's an important time where we will get to talk about the WPL moving forward. I think it's an important discussion to have in terms of how many teams is a good number. So stick around post-match if you want to have a listen to that and what you two think about that. But I definitely think you need to build the talent in 6 clubs before you build, as you were saying, Cass. But I'll leave it there, and we'll take a break so we don't talk through the whole halftime interval. Halftime here at Rockwell Automation Park in the 2018 Women's Premier League Grand Final. It's Warners Bay 1, Merewether 3. Welcome back to Rockwell Automation Park up at Western for the 2018 Herald Women's Premier League decider. Last year these two sides met in the grand final and it was Merewether who won 4-3. They were down 3-1 early in the second half in that contest. And they are up 3-1, I should say, in this year's grand final. Can Warners Bay turn it around? We'll soon find out. They had some wonderful opportunities in that first half, Helen O'Neill. Warners Bay were wonderful, apart from finishing off their chances.
Oh, right from the kick-off, they made their intentions clear, didn't they? That they weren't going to lose another grand final, particularly to Merewether. And then after a couple of losses, we saw the body language change. We saw, people not putting, or didn't appear to be putting in 100%. I'm sure they were, but hopefully Cass can say to them, follow my lead.
Well, we are almost back underway in the second half, and it will be Merewether running from right to left of screen in their predominantly white kit with the red numbers. Riley Dobson, the hero from the first half, with 2 goals.
That seemed like a quick half time.
It was quick. 45 minutes left in the grand final.
I didn't have time to get a cup of tea, so definitely went too quick.
And Warners Bay, of course, who have already made the one change, so that was Lawson over there on that far side. Gemma Lawson, who played in the 20s grand final win, she's now out there at left back, on for Corrine Krupa. So what do Warners Bay have to do in the second half? I think it's a fairly easy question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What do they have to do to get back in this one?
Looks like we've already changed formations. We've got 3 at the back, pushing 3-2, whatever. I'm not sure yet. I'm still working it out. So that's their first move. Looks like Ellie was pushing up on the right flank. So see if that works for them any better, Ben.
Yeah, so Ellie Davis is going to have her hands full with Riley Dobson.
Merewether have been playing a bit of player switch. They're actually consistently changing most of their players, especially the 2, 5, 7 and 11. They're 2 back and 2 front are actually switching sides constantly. And I wonder if they'll keep that going for the second half.
Yeah, we saw that. Hartree and now Ellie Withers over on this near side. And now Dobson.
Looks like Cass Davies going to take it all under her own thing to control.
Oh, that one struck Holly Ayton low down where you don't want to be hit. This looks to be all right. Maybe a little winded. Here's Hartree. And now Nicole Jones. You'd expect with her pace she'll be able to run that one down inside the corner flag. Curls it in, and Squires, what seems like an age ago, she scored the opening goal for Warners Bay from that corner kick. Overcast skies above Western. Decent temperature for football this afternoon. Mild conditions, around 15.
Very little wind. Ben.
Very little wind.
Favouring either side.
In comparison to last week's gale that was blowing at Warners Bay when they played South Wallsend. So very good that the conditions aren't having an impact this afternoon. It's Kingsley. Great control from Depchinski.
And composure. And that's where Merewether are going to stand out. She continues that composure at the back.
I just wonder, Laurie Depchinski, she hasn't played in the W League, but she's one of the best players in this competition. I feel like she could play in that competition. What do you think, Cass?
Yeah, it comes back to commitment, whether she has a full-time job, whether she's available to do that, and then obviously the fitness. I know she's had knee injuries in the past.
Yeah, she has. She's had some bad injuries. Just so solid at the back is Tamara Nash up and over the top for Nicole Jones.
And Nikki's just got that few years.
Great movement from Nicole Jones, and Latta got up and smothered the cross in.
Yeah, that's going to show her experience against Gemma Lawson. So Gemma's come through the ranks, obviously, at Valentine, and now won a grand final and scored. But I think Nikki's just got that a couple of extra years of experience that may show when we're on their one-on-one, which we just did then.
They are a very experienced side, Merewether. 5 players who've won 2 grand finals. They have never lost a grand final, Merewether, in the WPL. This is their 3rd attempt. This one curled in, and up goes Latta. Got a hand to it, pushed it away from goal. Deacon safety first over the sideline.
Look at how composed Merewether are now. They're just walking around with it almost appears there's 2 minutes to go and they're defending a big lead, let alone 45. They're just not hurried, very relaxed.
Yeah, I think they have to keep, again, that composure going. Whilst there are 2 goals in front, that could change at any time, and as long as they keep their structure, their composure, they obviously will continue to shine.
So Keating onto Deacon, where she attempted to turn, just slipped over, but still the opportunity arising via Stapleford. Tries it from distance, that one up into the shoulder of Depchinski. Sophie Stapleford, what a story she has. Second year back from that, after missing a few years with that brain tumour. It's just wonderful to see her back out there playing.
Yeah, and that was a hard time for Soph with her diagnosis, because she wasn't sure what it was, and then obviously knowing that she could be blind or
Dobson almost gets in on goal, and this, well, could be the moment that Merewether seal if they can grab a third goal. But just on Stapleford, she still has some side effects from the treatment. She's still working out how to get a full hearing back.
Yeah.
Didn't take any of her speed away, though, did it? Which is a good thing.
She's worked hard to get her fitness level, and I know she did have ambitions. I'm not sure if she still is, wanting to go into the W League with Cass.
Well, she's been really impressive down the right side, left side in the first half. This one whipped in, Latta fumbles it, it falls for Dobson. Oh, there was a hat trick on a platter there. She had a few bodies she would have had to beat, but the chance was there. 12 goals this season for Riley Dobson in 11 matches. Not a bad record. Second year at Merewether for Dobson. Played previously with Adamstown in a couple of grand finals. A win and a defeat there.
It was actually good to see all the W League players coming back to different clubs this year, with Tara Andrews obviously at New Lambton and Gemma Simon at South Wallsend. So good consistency of players throughout the WPL.
Yeah, it really was. Great to see Gemma Simon as well, South Wallsend, passing on her knowledge.
And returning from injury as well, so I know she's been working hard at the UBF team to keep on her conditioning, and I think she's just starting to see her recovery come through.
Neat touch from Tannock onto Nash. And Nicole Jones just with a little flat-footed. Lawson got ahead of her. But Jones is going to win it back for Merewether. And here's Nash. Wouldn't she love a grand final goal? It's into the side netting. It was a crowd goal, that one.
And that's the experience that I was talking about.
Oh, and this is not good. Madison Latta. Oh, gee whiz. This is a terrible sight when you see goalkeepers go thundering across into the post, and she's bounced back to her feet. Well, thank goodness for that.
Notice how Merewether didn't celebrate that goal. It's like they've said, okay, we've got to play out the full game, and so they just walk straight. Oh, no wonder they didn't celebrate.
We've missed that one. We're too worried about the goalkeeper and not looking at the referee.
Ah, compassion's the loser.
Dobson towards the sideline. Oh, that was skillful from Riley Dobson. Just slalomed away from Gabby Deacon. She tries the same moves on Airlie Davis. And now it falls. Latta somehow keeps it away, momentarily so. And Merewether grab their fourth of the afternoon. And it's a second for Leah Gouffre. And that may just be that.
Celebration.
Now they're celebrating. That was a bit delayed, wasn't it?
That one was definitely in. Big ask now of Warners Bay, Ben, 4-1. I know we've still got time on the clock, but momentum's all Merewether's way.
Well, you'd have to say it's a pretty difficult position to come back from now, wouldn't you? I mean, they've got time. They have plenty of time, but I'm not sure they have the conditioning and we want this game.
Yeah, it's the will to win. It can overtake fatigue. Yeah, it can definitely turn a game, and as I know,
Well, the curse is going to continue, the premiership curse. Only Merewether have won the premiership and the championship in the same year. That was back in 2015. No side has done it since. And it seems as though that will continue this year.
I'll be setting that goal for me next year, Ben.
Reverse the curse.
Reverse the curse.
Look, if you need a bit of pep talk to happen, just give me a call.
Helen will be there. And it is getting quite dark here at Western.
I was just thinking
Very
that.
dark. Maybe turn the lights on.
Actually, that's a good call.
Not sure if Gary Fisher's downstairs. He's working up here at Western. Come on, Gaz, turn the lights on, please.
I'll send him a quick message.
Yeah, send him a quick text. Here's Jamie Ellis. Well, they're trying to just put the cherry on top. So a reminder, the biggest ever grand final win was back in 2012 when Adamstown beat Lake Macquarie 6-1.
Yeah.
It is 4-1 at the moment. Now, these two sides coming into this one, of the 17 matches they've played this year, Warners Bay lost just the 2, Merewether also just the 2, and both of them to Warners Bay. Come into this match not having beaten Warners Bay all season. 2 Warners Bay wins and a draw. So Goof Frey, she's now on a hat-trick, as is Riley Dobson. And it's been all Merewether in the second half, hasn't it?
It's the game's turned from when we first kicked off.
Warners Bay will just rue those chances late on in the first half. Now Riley Dobson with an arrowing run towards the box. Can she grab the hat-trick? And not yet.
Just overhit that one.
Yeah, Warners Bay coming into this one, they lost just one of their last 11. That was last week against South Wallsend, so unfortunately for them,
That was probably a bit of a turning.
Maybe just losing a little bit
of.
of form towards the back end of the season for Warners Bay and for Merewether. They've lost just one of their last 12. That one to Warners Bay a few weeks ago in round 20.
Yeah, being at both those semi-finals games, both of them obviously not much in it, with Merewether winning 1-0, then 1-1 to New Lambton, and then Warners Bay 2-1, and then losing 1-0 in the semis. So I think whilst they were quite tight semi-finals, it's not showing so much this stage in the grand final, is it?
Well, what did they say? They say defence wins you big matches, and you've got the best attack in Warners Bay up against the best defence in Merewether, and at the moment it's showing. The defence of Merewether has put them in this position.
They've also got the attack happening as well, so they're winning on both fronts.
And speaking of Merewether, they've now scored in 29 consecutive matches in the WPL. Warners Bay before last week, they'd scored in 50 consecutive matches, which was ended last week in that 1-0 defeat to South Wallsend in the second leg, the semi-final. So these two sides, very consistent goal scoring wise. As Debczynski just gets a toe in.
So you wouldn't normally see Kingsley pull out that easily, out of that tackle. Yeah, she'd normally chase back, but...
Well, is Jenna Kingsley heading towards a third straight grand final defeat in the WPL? 2016. Well, here we go. Hold on, Stapleford. They can't even win a corner. Well, they will. They will. And Debczynski goes down. Well,
Well, is that her knee?
Well,
No.
she looks to be all right. Will it be a corner or will it be a free kick? It will be just the corner kick. She's looking for the free kick, not given. Yeah, 2016, Jenna Kingsley went down to Warners Bay when she was playing for Wallsend, 1-0. And last year for Warners Bay, scores a hat-trick in the grand final and loses. Not often
Do you see
that happens. And then this year, under pressure now, Warners Bay. If they want to root back in, they need to find one shortly. Aiton's now in there, flying through the box. And Merewether not pushing many numbers forward as you'd expect at this point in a grand final.
When you need Squires here as captain to lift the team, but they really do need to start.
Now Cass Davis just barrels over Riley Dobson. And she goes into the book for a yellow card. The crowd getting right into that one. And she's trying to inspire a side there, Cass Davis.
And
Cleaned up Riley Dobson, and the crowd's right into it now. The coach of this side.
She's so tough. I think I wouldn't have given her a yellow card. She brought the crowd alive.
Well, is that going to inspire her side? We'll find out.
Might pick Merewether up though, a bit further.
And Riley Dobson is tough as well. And here it is, falls for Dobson on the volley. Well, here we go. What a way that would have been to go to a hat-trick. On the left and volley with the right.
Look at the experience she's shown from that, winning the WPL, the W League. You can see it out there, can't you? She is a class above, I think.
The Jets coach, Craig Deans, is watching below us. Would he be going, watching Riley Dobson out there this afternoon?
Yeah, considering Riley was a
former Jet.
That's correct.
So Gabby Deacon, shoulder to shoulder, that was fair enough. And, whoa, that was one for the bloopers. A total air swing, she goes to ground. And it is getting darker and darker.
I've just sent Gary that message, turn on the lights, Gaz.
Well, they're on. They're actually turned them on.
Yeah, well, there you go.
You won't be able to see them on the camera because they are up above the they're up above the roof, so.
Thanks, Gaz.
Thank you. Northern will pay that bill, won't they?
No.
The light bill?
No, it's not in the budget.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Helen was quick to respond on that.
Helen's on the board, so she'll tell us. There's a chase towards the sideline, but given up on. So no changes from Warners Bay as of yet. Obviously, they're thinking the best 11 are out there in terms of getting back into it.
Who have we got to come on for them? Caitlin Lydiard, Ellie
Tara
Brown.
Pender is there as well. That's a big loss for Warners Bay. Former Jets W League player Tara Pender. And Riley Dobson just keeping slightly ahead of Taria Campbell. And now Nash came off Ayton.
Back her up.
Looking for support in that area. Not getting it. And the end result, a throw in.
Look at the hands on the hips from the Warners Bay. It's a tough position to be in, isn't it? With still about 30 minutes to go and knowing that we've got to get 3 goals to simply draw level.
They just need the one, don't they?
Yeah. And then you can lift from that.
But they've got to get that one goal. Ayton blasts it up the line. And Jenna Kingsley coming across.
That composure with Jane. Like there was no... She knew where Laurie was and it was just a simple tap.
Well, here's the press from Warners Bay. Alison Logue standing out in the bright yellow, the fluoro yellow.
You'll have to borrow that from a push bike, I think.
We've got those for the Pan Packs later this year, so everyone will see us at the Goldie.
Oh, can you save me one?
No worries.
So free kick goes Warners Bay's way here. So first up against second in this 2018 Herald Women's Premier League Grand Final. Warners Bay, the premiers, up against last year's champions Merewether.
And if Merewether take this out, there's going to be a different club that's won each age division this year. So quite interesting and good to see each club.
Yeah, great to see across the board. Deacon just dinks it. Ruel brought down. And the spin from Cass Davis. Well, surely that's a penalty. It has to be a penalty. Well, I don't know how Alison McCready hasn't pointed to the spot there.
And she was there with the play, so...
What do you think? What do you think? Was it a penalty, Helen? Am I going off early? I thought there was...
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I think she just missed it. She went down. No, I'm happy with
there was
the
a
call.
clip on her right boot.
A bit hard sometimes. Like you said, McCready was right on the spot.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, we'll go with the referee.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be proven wrong.
Referees are happy to be proven right.
But for the game, it would have been good to see
It's
Warners
not
Bay.
about the game, it's about playing.
Well, we need viewers, Helen. We need viewers. We want people to continue watching.
Switched off. It's all back Merewether.
Here's the free kick going Warners Bay's away here. Jenna Kingsley not happy.
The game's definitely not over, guys, so get on the social media and put out Bar TV.
Exactly. Keep watching.
Well, keep listening anyway. If
Watching
the game's
and
on, but we'll be
listening,
good.
yeah.
Here's Stapleford. So Warners Bay pushing numbers forward as you'd expect. Sophie Stapleford looking to pick out the far post and couldn't do so. She's scored on 5 occasions this year. Their 4th highest scorer behind Kingsley, Davis and Nadia Squires. Squires the goal scorer for Warners Bay this afternoon. Dobson with 2 for Merewether and Leah Gouffre with a couple as well.
Sometimes all those stats when it comes to grand finals just wash away though, seriously, don't they? Because sometimes it's simply the will to win. Who wants it the most?
Deacon now to Davis. Got in front of Withers. Great turn from Cass Davis. And Nadia Squires will chime in at the back post. She hit it well. Alison Logue with the parry. Played for the Australian under-19s and Australian under-20 side at World Cups in years gone by. She actually played in the quarterfinals of the 2004 under-19 Women's World Cup for the Aussies. They went down to the US in that particular tournament, I should say, in Thailand. So she's got a lot of experience in pressure matches. Aiton.
And
that's a decent ball.
Yeah, I was thinking that maybe she was just giving away possession there, but Kingsley was quick enough to pick it up.
Jenna Kingsley opts for Stapleford. Deacon surely was offside and is.
Crowd knew well before the linesman did.
Lineswoman.
Person.
They definitely did.
The crowd had the
side.
I think we're sitting in the Merewether grandstand just quietly. I sense that.
He's with us. And Sean Keating has tasted grand final success already this afternoon in the under-20s, the skipper of that particular side. It's not going her way thus far in the first grade clash. And you can see just how highly regarded the Merewether defence is when you look at the team of the year in the WPL. You've got Laurie Depczynski, Nikki Jones and Alison Logue, 3 in that centre-back, left-back and goalkeeping role in the team of the year.
And it's interesting that they've pushed Nikki Jones forward today as an attacking winger, so she's moved out of the defensive role, and maybe that is the difference in making those changes. As I know, in a grand final, the coach making those decisions can definitely change a game.
Yeah, she's been great this afternoon. Kingsley, that ball hasn't stayed in. Well, Alison McCready hasn't seen the flag from the assistant. The assistant's flag is up, and the play goes on, and the assistant is still standing there saying that the ball crossed the line, and that would have been interesting if Cass Davis had have scored.
Well, what can you do about it? I mean, she had a flag up, didn't she?
Had her up for about 5 minutes or so. Jenna Kingsley's radar lets her down there.
Step on there, girls.
And the crowd here seem to think that Merewether have got in the bag and just saying have some fun out there now. It's all game over. So, But as we know, anything can change.
How much time left, Ben?
Just over 20 minutes.
Still
enough
a long
time to get
go.
5 goals.
Here's Merewether. Look to have the wood over Warners Bay on the big day for the second year in a row. And now Riley Dobson. 3 goals the difference. It was 3-1 at halftime. And that goal that Riley Dobson scored right on the stroke of halftime, it was a scrappy goal, may have knocked the stuffing out of Warners Bay.
As I say, those goals in the last 5 minutes or the first 5 minutes of half always play an integral part of the game, and definitely mindset.
So Deacon, numbers forward again here for Warners Bay, but she's picked out Laurie Depczynski, who's just imperious, isn't she, at the back?
Yeah, and here we've got ball to feet and a bit of thunder
Yeah.
And here is Nikki Jones's chance to score a grand final goal. Latta spilt it, but she reeled it back in, the 16-year-old.
That was a good save.
She played in the under-17 Warners Bay side last year, Madison Latta, and now she's in the top grade. Credit to her. Now great ball over the top for Deacon. Kingsley steps away from Depchinski, and now she goes to ground, and this is a penalty. Fair enough, I think. Depchinski had a little nibble, and Kingsley, you sense, probably played for it a little bit, but
Maybe she's making up for the other one.
yeah, I think it evens itself out in the end. So, from the spot, Nadia Squires to score her second of the afternoon.
I've not known Nadia to miss a penalty, but in saying
Don't say that.
the commentator's curse may continue this afternoon.
She scored the goal against South Wallsend in the first leg. Taria Campbell scored the other one in that first leg. It was from the set piece. So this to give Warners Bay a toehold, some hope in this grand final. And Squires slots it away, sends Alison Logue the wrong way.
Yeah, she was really just on her toes bouncing, Logue. It wasn't a... Yeah.
So, we've got 3 players in the grand final on a hat-trick. Nadia Squires, Leah Gouffre and Riley Dobson. And Warners Bay, where there's life, there's hope.
Number 5, Nadia Squires.
It's about 20 minutes to go in the 2018 grand final. Don't write off the Panthers yet.
And it may look like that Merewether are looking to make a change here. Cass Copen's talking to some players on the sideline. It'll be interesting to see what change she actually makes.
And isn't it funny, Cass? Down the other end of the ground, Nikki Jones had a chance to make it 5-1. And at the other end, penalty goes the way of Warners Bay, and it's 4-2.
We saw that before, though. It was when Warners Bay had the
Free kick.
and then Merewether scored.
Yep.
As they say in the classics, it's a game of two halves.
Yep, end-to-end football.
So, here we go. Warners Bay all of a sudden just turning it on. Kingsley on the turn. She's got Stapleford making the run. Was just behind her.
And Merewether caught out in defence here. They're down on numbers, so as long as... Oops.
Well, she's offside. She's come from an offside position, Gabby Deacon. She's frustrated. And she's kicked the ball away there. She's probably... So we see some lightning
Oh, yeah, that...
over
And we might have to get
Weston.
the lightning detector out.
What's the lightning rule?
Yeah, so there should be a lightning detector and it tells how far it's away. Once it gets a certain distance, the game
off.
has to be stopped.
Well, where's Gary Fisher? We need his lightning detector
hang on,
up here at
I'll
Weston.
send him another message and say, Gaz, you've done the lights. Now let's look at the...
Do you think they'd have one at Weston?
Well, there's the Thunder as well.
geez.
Well-
Surely we couldn't have any more drama.
Yeah.
So that means we'd have to have a stoppage and have to continue play when the Thunder and Lightning disappears. Is that correct?
Correct. It has to be that distance away. If it's not, then we could be... I'm not sure what the rules are. We do a replay or... It depends on how far into the game. Sometimes, like I said, I'm not sure up on the game. It used to be a certain percentage of the game played.
Well, the crowd is moving from the grandstand over
be-
at the
makes
southern
you
end of the
wonder
ground. But here is Nicole Jones. And Ladder should just let this one roll over the byline.
How much time have we got left?
Got just under 20 minutes by my calculation. I haven't got the graphic in front of me.
It's an unknown, isn't it, too? How will it rain?
Quickly, yeah.
Will it just pass over? Do you go home?
And here's the change.
Yeah, great to have your company. Just under 18 minutes to go in the 2018 WPL Grand Final. Here's the change from Merewether United. It's
So
Quinlan.
Tuzak's on.
Quinlan off and Tusek's on.
Replaced by number 12, Imogen Tusek.
This one chipped up the line. You can see the lights just starting to take effect. And this ball, has she got enough on it with us? Back to Kingsley. Imogen Tusek, the partner of Reese Cooper, Hamilton Olympics midfielder in the NPL. Isn't he a wonderful player? We'll see if she's learned any tricks of the trade from Reese.
She probably taught him, Ben.
And Kingsley was putting her arms up there. She felt...
Well, she actually says, Merewether actually sent me a document outlining people who are an inspiration to them, and Reese Cooper was Imogen's inspiration. So Kingsley just caught offside.
wasn't sure about that one. I thought Kingsley started from behind, but anyway, as we say, referee's call. We might get a little bit crowd going in the grandstands. Everyone's pulling up from the side.
They're coming from everywhere. So Squires and Hartree, her nickname Turbo. We've seen that in action this afternoon. Very quick Sarah Hartree. Been at Merewether for 6 seasons. So can they kill off Warners Bay once and for all, Merewether? Dobson. '74 W League matches Riley Dobson has played in. Melbourne City and the Jets just dispossessed there. Couldn't add to her 2 goals already this afternoon. Now that's a big win for Cass Davis, winning the ball from Withers because she's now out of position, and Davis rushes into that space. The pass is a little heavy though for Deakin, and Depchinski got enough of a clip. I thought she should have earned a free kick there, Laurie Depchinski.
Yeah, ball stayed in, play on.
And now Depchinski is dispossessed. Well, she'll be unimpressed. She hasn't won the free kick now because Davis has won a corner.
Out for a corner.
And they'll be dangerous from this because Nadia Squires is trotting over to take it. Plenty of time left in this one, and the Lightning.
Yeah.
There's still Lightning.
No, Brett Carlin is the referee chief out there. He's making signals to Alison Creedy, so it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, Alison McCready is coming to the sideline. Well, we could have some drama here. Are we going to have a stoppage in play with the Lightning? I've never seen anything like it, Cass, have you?
I've had a grand final when I played in Manly. We had actually a grand final called off due to lightning, so I have had that before.
Well, it's Gary Fisher who is down there. You might be able to make him out. There he is, having a chat to the referees, the 4th official as well down there, Lisa Fraser.
And obviously we've got to take the players' safety into first and foremost.
Now we might see if we can get any word. I was going to send one of you down to see what the news is.
Do you want me to?
Yeah, Helen, if you want to duck down and see what the ruling is here, because the air has just all of a sudden dropped in temperature about 5 degrees.
Yeah, it definitely has.
As long
and
as
McCready is running out there.
Back, I hope I don't get electrocuted.
Yeah,
I'm not back.
Well, hopefully you might get some danger money.
Yeah,
So Helen's just going to duck down and find out what the go is. McCready is going to run out.
Is she going to call it, or?
She's going to have a chat to both the captains. Are they going to be forced from the ground? So Helen's having a chat to Gary Fisher. So hopefully we'll find out what the go is as soon as possible in the 2018 WPL Grand Final.
I definitely hear it rolling in, so...
There's thunder and lightning.
No, we're playing on.
And we are still going to play on. Nadia Squires, well, the stoppage really may have caused an issue. Just slowing things down, and she had a lot of time to think about that corner kick. Helen, what's the news?
Well, it's the referee's call, and she said to play on. If they stop the play, there's a 30-minute wait, and then after 30 minutes, another 30 minutes. I better ring home. I may not be able to get home tonight. But at this stage, it's game on.
So, and we know we are very close. All of a sudden, the wind's picked up as well. Our papers are going everywhere.
Which is usually a sign that there's something going down, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly, yeah, there's definitely a change. I might need my jacket. So we've just got under 13 minutes to go in the 2018 Women's Premier League Grand Final. On Bar TV Sports, Ben Homer with you alongside Cass Wright and Helen O'Neill. Maybe a little bit of precipitation as well.
Yeah, wind's picked up.
Yeah, the wind's picked up.
Flags are flying everywhere.
So if we are stopped, a half an hour break, that's the word. So Stapleford pushing forward, and Warner's Space still with a great opportunity here to halve the deficit. Stapleford need into play, but offside.
Campbell's offside.
Well, so far it's I think it's more the wind at this stage. The lightning seems to have dissipated somewhat.
Still 2-goal difference, Ben. Can they do it?
Exactly. Just trying to work out where the wind is, who the wind is going to assist. So it is raining now.
Well, it's actually blowing from the west, so it's going to be a cross field.
and the grandstand will protect a little bit of that. Maybe slightly behind Warners Bay, if anything at all, as the rain gets a little heavier, and the lightning as well. So this is the issue. We've got about 10 minutes to play, and if McCready says, well, let's go and have a break, it's going to have to be 30 seconds off. 30 minutes off, I should say. Players are going to be in wet jerseys. Crowd's going to be gone home. It's going to be pitch black. we could yet have some more interesting circumstances in this grand final. The thunder getting a little bit louder. Well, how many people can this grandstand fit?
Not as many as people here.
Oh, Jesus.
Guinness Book of Records here at Western.
Yep.
And there's a game out in the middle, don't forget.
Exactly. Here's the clearance away. Taria Campbell trying to clear it. Dobson. She's still looking for a hat-trick. She's been on a hat-trick since the latter stages of the first half.
And that's going to go for a throw-in.
I'd say the players would want to stay out there. I mean, as long as the lightning doesn't continue. Oh, it's very cosy here, isn't it?
They're the South Wales End girls, Helen. You'll be fine.
That's what worries me.
Here's Davis. She takes off and coming across, and she's gone down. Has Quinlan there. Looks to be all right.
Can Warners Bay change the momentum and quickly? They've got less than 10 minutes now to score 2 goals. Can they do it? Merewether haven't changed their formation. Still 3 at the back.
And they brought on Ellie Brown after all those stoppages. Ellie Brown's on for Warners Bay now. Dobson brings it down. Still a few flashes, I should say, of lightning every now and then. Ellie Davis. Sister of Cass Davis. Keating on the spin.
Merewether is still playing.
And now Dobson. Ayton going back.
Getting heavier.
And this one into Dobson. Absolutely teeming down now.
Yeah.
And it is an angled rain which is coming across from this side, which is actually all right because it's from the west, so into the back of the grandstand and not into us here high in the commentary position. And let's be honest, as Latta brings that one in, it's good to have a bit of rain out here.
Oh, definitely.
It's been so dry of late. We appreciate it. Davis. Still going Cass Davis. This is not going to help Warners Bay, these conditions laid on.
No, so with a bit of damp, anything could happen. Balls
here's Latta. Well, she did well because Tamara Nash has shot really skidded off the grass.
And they're the best ones to score with. When the ball skids along the ground, keeper can't pick it up.
So he says Jenna Kingsley and Cass Davis will be thinking exactly that. Here's Lawson.
Now you would just be wanting to get balls in the box because anything could happen with that.
Well, Stableford slips over. Is this Warners Bay's chance? And just took a heavy touch. Sophie Stableford, what a chance.
Geez, I thought Logue touched that as it went out, but they're just awarding a goal kick.
Yeah, as I said, anything could happen in this wet weather.
Yeah.
As we saw, Laurie slipped over and a prime opportunity for Sophie, and unfortunately didn't get there in the end.
I think the ref's saying, let's get the game over. I just want to have a shower. Let me home.
So Brad Carlin is standing down there in the tunnel. Since there's still discussions down there about whether we are still going to play on because the thunder and lightning are not going anywhere, and neither is the rain.
Oh. I mean, it's a storm. We could be lucky and it could pass.
So we tick towards the final minutes, and the rain is as heavy as it's been in the last 10 minutes. It's torrential now. It is thumping down at Rockwell Automation Park.
And I've just got a weather report in, and it doesn't look like it's going away too quickly.
No, it is going nowhere. Absolutely nowhere.
And looks like some of the fans are already starting to celebrate for Merewether, knowing that this could affect play. And as we've already just seen,
well, maybe they shouldn't start celebrating too early, the Merewether fans, because here come Warners Bay, and it's Sian Keating who is able to keep it inside the line. Brown Neat touch. Stapleford playing more centrally now. Good touch on from Campbell. Still with Stapleford. Couldn't quite wriggle free of Depchinski. And here's a dipping shot, which has just gone wide of Alison Logue's goal. Taking on that particular strike.
And that was Gemma Lawson trying to get
it was Gemma Lawson. It's very difficult to actually see over that far side with the haze of rain.
You generally find the rain's a good leveler, but because the grounds are so dry, it's not really impacting too much as yet.
No.
It's not soaking in at all.
No, but again, with this ball and the rain.
Well, there's going to be some criticism of this, whichever way it goes. If you lose, you're going to be critical that the game should have been called off. If you win, it's a play on. It's always about player safety, but there's common sense too.
We're still just under 6 minutes to go now in the grand final. And it's Merewether who led 4-1. Warners Bay trying to pull them back late on in this contest. But it's being made very difficult, that task. With the rain, the lightning and the thunder.
When we see glimpses of Warners Bay trying to get that momentum forward, but Merewether just keep going, and again we're seeing definite possession in the Warners Bay back third.
This one just slips through the legs and just easing the rain, which will make it a bit easier. And Jamie Ellis has played it straight into the path of Kingsley, who threads it on to Cass Davis.
Good challenge there by Laurie.
Almost ran it down. Stapleford. Still with Sophie Stapleford. Davis. Bump to ground. No free kick.
Play on.
Quickly gets back to her feet. Shoulder to shoulder, that's what Alison McCready said there.
I wasn't sure if Laurie was actually sure what it was going to be, a free kick, because she's just kicked it out. It looks like we've got another substitution for Merewether here, Ben.
Yeah, Cass Coppin just waiting under, well, not even under the umbrella. She is soaked, Cass Coppin. There's not much protection down there under the benches. And heading out onto the park for Merewether is Hayley Griffin, the sister of Valentine Phoenix assistant coach Sam Griffin in the NPL. This one whipped across the face. Here is a great opportunity for Warners Bay.
You just see this, how that slid away then.
It was Taria Campbell just waiting at the top of the box, and she's rushed over to take this corner. That one really skidded Helen, as you said.
Yeah.
It's going to be difficult for both goalkeepers. It's Alison Logue being tested here, and Campbell. That's the second time in a row now. Warners Bay haven't been able to find the quality from the corner.
And here's that last 5 minutes. Can Merewether maintain the 2-goal lead?
Or put another one away.
Yep. Anything can happen at this stage. Very central, both players on the park here. All teams.
And now Campbell onto Brown.
And out for another corner.
So can they make this one count, Warners Bay? Nadia Squires trotting over again.
I'd be pushing everyone up here, looking for that goal to make sure that they can catch these 2 goals. I'd be getting everyone possible into the box when they're...
So it's low. And it'll just be the goal kick. Nadia Squires in her 4th straight grand final. As is Cass Davis and Taria Campbell. But it's looking like it'll just be the one victory in those 4 grand finals for those 3.
And here comes the sun. All 4 seasons in one day.
We're not in Melbourne, are we? We're only at Western.
You'd be mistaken for thinking so. Sian Keating, another player who has been in the last 4 deciders.
It would have been hard to come off the euphoria of winning the under-20s grand final and then coming on to this. You know, you'd be running on adrenaline and suddenly you need more.
Yep.
So it seems as though Merewether will make another change. Down with the fourth official. And out comes the card for a bit of time wasting. Ellie Withers goes into the book, and
I think there's a bit of confusion here. No one seems to be going, what's on? Merewether do they want to make a change, or whose ball is it?
Well, they've taken a fair chunk of time off the clock there, whether it was intentional or not. Hayley Griffin charging after that one. Yeah, Beck Stewart just waiting under the umbrella. We'll see if she is going to take any part this afternoon. Hasn't taken the jacket off yet.
And Nikki Jones has come back to play in defence.
Knocks that one up to Riley Dobson.
And Riley's is just pushing that one
hope.
forward without any players actually to support the ball.
That one bounced awkwardly onto the knee of Davis, brought it under her control. She'll be with the Jets again this year. Didn't miss a minute last season, Cass Davis. There's a rock at the back in centre defence, and now Jenna Kingsley. She's been fairly quiet this afternoon, and there is late hope for Warners Bay. Where there's life, there is hope, and it's just a goal now. This would be one incredible comeback if they can make it happen. 4-3 with just minutes remaining now. And you just can't keep her down, Jenna Kingsley. 2 matches without a goal coming into this one this afternoon. She's never far away from finding the back of the net, and she does so there.
And that was a ball from Ayton in the back third to the front third, and Jenna just found that space in between the defenders to run onto, maintain her onside position and put it in the back of the net.
So stoppage time to come. That goal scored in the 90th minute by Jenna Kingsley. Do not ride off Warners Bay just yet. They are coming home like a freight train, and Merewether are treading water. Literally treading water.
Although the sun's out.
Yeah, now the sun's out.
So
You just got to push everyone forward, don't you, if you're Merewether?
Yeah.
Cass Davis.
or keep possession.
It's Hayley Griffin. That'll just skid towards the sideline. And there'd still be a little bit of stoppage time because we had a few stoppages. There's a bit of lightning again. The sun's out too.
Beautiful rainbow. Just set the scene for those at home.
Cass Davis, it almost deflected up awkwardly off Hartree. Ellie Brown has got a bit of chasing to do. She cuts it back. And the experienced head of Nikki Jones just knocks it up towards halfway.
And Riley's giving out some instructions here. She was talking to Coach Cass, and obviously they've been...
They've really stopped playing, haven't they, Merewether, in the last 15 minutes? It could come back to hurt them. Davis onto Stapleford. It's a scuffed clearance towards the sideline. Do not go anywhere.
Yeah,
4-3 Merewether won last year's grand final. It's 4-3 this year. The difference is it's Warners Bay who are producing the epic comeback.
We're just not seeing that aggressive play from Merewether that we did in the first 20 minutes. They're just, I think, just hanging on now.
Well, the rain certainly had an impact.
For sure.
We've seen Riley Dobson let two go over the sideline, and that we hadn't seen that all game. I love a good rainbow.
So Kingsley.
I think Merewether looking to make their final change.
She's the key. Here is the ball to Cass Davis. Alison Logue
Yeah, she'd want to
reels it in.
make sure that she has those, so just winding the clock down, keeping the ball.
Alison McCready looks at the watch again. There's a bit more lightning.
And we're seeing the
Still Merewether waiting to make their final change. Beck Stewart waiting on the sideline. It's really quite loud now, the thunder. Warners Bay got their hands in the air. Do they want just to have a little half an hour break here? I wouldn't think so. They've got all the momentum. But since they want to stay out there, really. Lawson has got a bit of a chase to undertake. And she gets there and she will win the throw. Not long to go now. Seconds, you sense, for Warners Bay now.
extra time with injury, so, and has she called it?
And for the second year in a row, it's the red and whites who will be up in lights as Merewether United nail them themselves down as the grand final queens. 3 grand finals, 3 victories, and they make history, becoming the first WPL side to win 3 championships. They simply love this time of the year, Merewether, and they're enjoying sliding on the slippery surface this afternoon at Western. And for Warners Bay, heartbroken yet again, a second straight grand final defeat, and the premiership curse remains. Only Merewether have won the premiership and championship double in the 10 years of the Herald Women's Premier League. Merewether started strong. They finished all over the top of Merewether, did Warners Bay, but they couldn't quite grab the equaliser, and it finishes full-time in the 2018 Herald Women's Premier League Grand Final. Warners Bay 3, Merewether United 4. Ladies, wow, we really get some great matches on Grand Final Day in the WPL, don't we?
Yeah, it's been amazing, really, hasn't it? We saw Merewether, Warners Bay come out, set the pace, the tone of the, and then we saw Merewether hit back. It looked like Warners Bay were hanging their heads down, a little bit despondent. And then the second half, it was all Merewether till the thunderstorm hit, and then they appeared to, I wouldn't say complacent, but they were saying to Warners Bay, well, catch us if you can. But we need to give a big shout out to the referee. I think Alison McCready, she let the game run. Someone else might have panicked and called it off, and I think that was a winner for her on the day.
Yes, I think she made a good decision, because really, we don't know when this storm's going to end. It was a bit of a tough decision, when thunder comes from nowhere.
Yeah, definitely. And I think...
Ladies and gentlemen,
now,
we will be doing the presentation up in the grandstand.
The presentation's in the grandstand. Well, how good's this? We don't have to go anywhere. So, presentation in the grandstand. We'll hang around and stick around for the raising of the trophy, etc. for Merewether United again this year. What is it about Merewether and grand finals? What do you put it down to? Is it culture? Is it experience?
I think it's experience and will to win. We talked about earlier in the game that they wanted the ball, wanted to win, wanted to get that first goal, even though that they didn't get the first one. They had to challenge, and they challenged quickly to get the second one. So I think whilst Helen did say, and I do agree, that once the storm came in, Merewether went, okay, well, let's just sit, and that's when Warners Bay came back. I think they had it basically at half time, and they held on.
But you talk about culture, but in something that's so young, like the WPL, it hasn't really become established. But the mere fact that a Riley Dobson leaves Adamstown, wins a premiership in Melbourne City, and still wants to play with Merewether, has been attracted to Merewether. I mean, you could say it's friendship, you could say the coach. There's so many variables, but I think they have shown that it doesn't matter who they put in that red and white in the grand final, they want to win.
Yeah, definitely. And as you said, anything can happen in grand final, and it's just making sure that you are present and in the game, and if you are, you can win.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Merewether do it again. That is their 3rd grand final victory in 4 years, and it's been Merewether or Warners Bay who have won the last 4 grand finals. Merewether 3, Warners Bay with the 1 victory in all of that. So,
and like I said, an awesome day today. You had Middies winning the 14s, Thornton the 17s, Warners Bay the 20s, and Merewether the first grade. So
yeah, that's what you want to see.
Shout out to all the clubs.
That development coming through like that.
I think perfect timing. How loud was that?
Well,
that's thunder. Very, very loud, and great to see they're bringing the presentation, I should say, up here to the grandstand. This is very much like European competitions. They always present the
women always get it right there.
The trophy into the. I love it, into the grandstand. So
yeah, where the fans are.
Exactly.
They're the ones that want to see it.
I think we might put that on the agenda for next year, Helen. Make sure that this is continued. I think it's a great
new tradition.
Yep.
Up in the grandstand. Yeah, with that, we'll take the storm out of the equation.
I noticed a truck just drove off, and generally what they do at the women's grand final is set up a temporary stage, and I just saw the truck drive off, so I thought, good, we're not going to have that temporary stage. But yeah, you're right.
No temporary stage this year. We're up in the grandstand. We've got a real cement stage. Ladies, just before the presentation gets underway, let's just talk about the WPL for next year. Of course, Thornton this year dropping out. Football Mid-North Coast dropping out of the top grade. Very disappointing, but maybe a good thing that we only have 6 teams now in the competition, because it just condenses the talent a little bit and then allows the competition to expand when that pool gets wider, as you were saying earlier, Cass. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, look, yes and no. So as a 14-year-old, you would want to play in your first grade team. So if you don't have a first grade team, you're going to actually have to move clubs. So I think that is to the detriment of that club. They need to have that first grade side for it to filter through, and you want to go through to first grade. Middies are a different situation where they're actually remote, so they don't have the players to draw on centrally. I think the uni now moving up there, and that may attract. And I was talking to Bruce Potter last weekend, and they're trying to make some changes to make it better for the players and attract players. So for that, I don't know where Thornton actually stand, whether they've got the players or drawing for that.
We can see they have got some quality players winning the 18s grand final this afternoon.
For me, but the disappointing thing, Cass, is the strategic plan clearly states that, and I'll declare a non-pecuniary interest here as Deputy Chair of Northern New South Wales, but it clearly states that the idea is to grow the game. Now, we're not only not living up to the strategic plan, but do we need to throw more money at development? What do we need?
Yeah, I think so. For me, I played State League in Sydney 20 years ago, and I really feel that we need to step it up in Northern New South Wales for a lot of players and to attract a lot of players. So if we want to attract the better players, we need to have that depth and level of competition. And I was talking about before, it's the coaching, it's the professionalism, it's the better standard of referees, better standard of fields. So I think we all need to collectively work with Northern and all the clubs to make sure that we have that. And the first I suppose part of that was getting the WPL technical advisor, and I really hope that they find someone to continue that. Whilst it's not a full-time position, I found it very difficult I wasn't able to get what I wanted to help the coaches, and it was more a mentor role. Yeah. The coaches really need assistance in and defining the coaching role. So yes, there's a problem. What is the problem? How do I fix it? What planning do I need to do? What session plans do I need to implement? And that is not really a common occurrence, and that really, I think we start at the 14s and we work up.
Yeah, well, the FFA yesterday put out a release to say that Sarah Walsh has actually stepped up to be the General Manager of Girls and Participation, so you would hope that something new would be passed down.
Yeah, so Les B is coming up in October, so I'm part of the FFA education coaches, and unfortunately Tommy at Northern has had to go back to England.
Yeah, he's got to go back.
Yeah, so we've already got that planned for October, and there is a new education system coming with coaches. So again, I would like to see more coaches educated, how that's done, but it's just one-day course isn't enough. There has to be that ongoing training or support.
Like anything, you know.
Yeah.
But also, for what disappoints me, Northern is made up of 7 regions. And where's the Maitland side? We see it in the NPL. Where's the side from? We mentioned Port Macquarie. Where's the side from Far North Coast? It does mean travelling, but it isn't a Newcastle-centric competition.
Which is what it's turned into now with the loss of Thornton and Football Mid-North Coast.
And I think the zones have to take some responsibility. Personally, I'd rather just have Northern as one big zone, but I could naturally get voted down on that one every time I bring it up. But, we've got to look at those things. There's no point in having zones if you're not propagating the game.
Yeah.
You're simply just governing it without the players' development.
Definitely, and it's having those hubs to make sure that the players can come through with their skill and their education and that being accessible to the high-level coaches. And that's another thing that I'm looking at next year, is getting more female coaches involved. If we have a look at the clubs, I don't know that they're, apart from Warners Bay, I think they're the only ones that have had a female coach in all grades. So
all grades.
Yeah.
which is what we need more of. We can see it in the W League, in the AFLW for next year. There will be no female coaches in a women's competition. And you think, well, surely, that is an issue in itself. Just for those, we will get back to that, but Warners Bay just on their way up to the grandstand. That's why we've got a little bit of a delay. Merewether, they want to celebrate already, but they're being forced to wait just a little bit for Warners Bay to make their way up here. How do you get more female coaches in the game, Cass? How do you make sure that we've got females coaching in the female game?
Well, firstly, you have to have female mentors that want to take the coaches in, or identify players that maybe are looking to retire or put back into the game. So I'm very privileged next year. I've got two amazing talents with Renee Zrith and Lisa Rowland, and as we know, top level players who want to give back to the game. So, but it's also fostering those relationships and knowing with the players what they can do and being able to help them through the coaching stages, and so it's not so daunting for them.
But it's not just football locally. When you have a look at the National Basketball, the Women's Basketball League, the AFLW, as you mentioned, the rugby, the new rugby NRL competition coming on board, very few women go into coaching. I'm not sure why.
Exactly. The only sport is netball, where there's a lot of female coaches, and that's evident.
And we don't want male coaches in netball, so
exactly.
Get figure. We're never going to be happy.
All right, well, we will hand you over to Liam Bentley, who is going to undertake the presentation. First up, the referees, who did a great job this afternoon in trying conditions. We'll hand over and we'll be back just after the presentation.
Real fortunate to be part of our premiers for the year. Warners Bay, let's make some noise for Warners Bay. Madison Latter. Okay, guys, some off your medals. Madison Latter. Ellie Davis. Holly Ayton. Toria Campbell. Nadja Squires, Cassidy Davis, Jenna Kingsley, Gemma Wilson, Gabby Deacon, Sophie Stapleford, Corinne Trupper, Shan Keating, Ellie Brown, Caitlin Lydiard, Ali Borgia, and Tara Pender. And of course, the coaching staff, Leon Davis, Brian Davis, Kim Keating, Jenny Pearson, and Andrew Lydiard. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, let's make some noise for our premiers from this year, Warners Bay. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to our champions, Merewether United! And our champions up to their medals, starting number 6, Riley Dobson, Jamie Ellis, Sarah Haley Griffin. Lee Jeffrey. Olivia Tannock. Alison York. Katie Evelyn. Shania Vazzi. And Captain Warren Kaczynski. And of course, coaching staff, Coach Cass Copkin. Pete Wither. Ryan Samples. Lewis McIntyre. And Nikki Stewart.
Hey guys, firstly I want to say thank you so much for coming. Everyone in the crowd, everyone that came to watch, you made the atmosphere that you really want for a grand final, and it just pushed us to the end, and it was really, really awesome. So thank you for coming. Firstly, I want to thank Norman for putting on the competition and supporting the club to try and get WPL into NPL. Without Norman's support and without all the effort they put in, we wouldn't be where we are now. We wouldn't be able to look forward and think, yes, in 1 or 2 or 3 years we'll get that NPL. So thank you to Norman. Thank you to our sponsors. We've got Queen's Wharf Hotel, Small Beef Dental, National Security Consulting, Tim Matrostis in Raymond Terrace, and Kerry West as well. And thank you to Waters Bay. The first 10 minutes and the last 10 minutes, every game goes to you. It's bloody hell. Like, seriously, you always push us to the 90 minutes, and thank you so much. You've had a great season, and you're the team that's the hardest to play, and we really appreciate that as well. So thank you to our team. Nikki, Brian, without your support, we wouldn't have made it here either. So, and thank you to the couple. So many things. Thank you. Very hot.
I invite Renee Valentine from the Herald Sun to present Merewether United with the trophy. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2018 Herald Women's Premier League champions, Merewether United!
So there you have it, Merewether, the champions of the 2018 Women's Premier League in Northern New South Wales. We're going to try and get Laurie Depczynski up for a chat, the Merewether United skipper, who's had such a great season. They're the champions. Just the famous Queen song. I'll enjoy celebrating to that one. So Laurie just on her way up to the commentary position. And Cassie, you're going to hand over the mics. We'll share one. We'll share one. Oh, you don't have to put the headphones on, Laurie. You're right.
I really couldn't hear that.
Just tell me what it means to win a third grand final out of 3.
I think it's just amazing, and I think what makes it even better is it's been the
same group of girls for the 3 times, and we've been able to bring new people in, and just sorry, I don't even know how to say. It's just it's awesome.
Just tell me why you guys play so well in grand finals. What is it?
I think we've just got each other's backs. Coming into the grand final today, we're just down in the change room, and we're just saying, like, no one can do what we can do. We can come together. We can play ordinary football in the semi-finals, get ourselves here, and then once we're here, we just do it for each other.
Was there any stage to that game, particularly the way Warners Bay came out firing? Was there any stage in the game where you thought, oh hell?
Well, like I said, just then the first 10 minutes and the last 10 minutes, always with Warners Bay, they put us under the pump early, and that's when we've really got to think. We say stay in the green zone, keep doing your job, just hold on and try and get the ball and do what we need to do with the ball. And then apart from that, just fight to the end.
Was there any point that you would think that it wasn't going to be your game, or you were pretty confident for the full game?
It was certainly a nice feeling going into the change room 3-1 up this time, or whatever it was, 3-1, compared to last year where it was the flip. But again, the message in there wasn't, you're on top, you've done it. It was, come on, let's work together and let's keep pushing to that final.
Hang on, I'm just going to make sure you're in this photo, Laurie. They're doing the...
Oh, no!
Well, you better go. You better go.
Love you guys. Love you, TV.
Well done.
Have fun.
Thanks, Laurie, for the chat. Yeah, she's got to duck down. She has to be in the team photo.
She is the captain.
I hope she doesn't fall down the stairs. It's a bit slippery with the rain. All right, well, that wraps it up from the 2018 WPL Grand Final. Just your final thoughts from both of you, and then we'll head on our ways. You see Merewether celebrate.
Well, I had my money on Merewether going into the game, so winners are grinners.
You're happy. Cass, just tell me, next year you're at South Wall's End. Good luck with it all. And
thank you.
I hope it all goes well for you.
Yeah, definitely hoping to be here, not in the grandstand next year, but
only to get the trophy.
What are we going to do? We're going to need to find another commentator. Oh, no. Well, thanks for your company, everyone watching at home this afternoon. Merewether the champions for a 3rd time in 4 years, winning 4-3 over Warners Bay this afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.